think how you pay for health care. And here's why. This time of year is decision time for a lot of people, but it's also when you can join Medi-Share and save even more than usual. For many families, joining Medi-Share means saving about $500 a month, which is a game changer for a lot of people, obviously. But what's more, Medi-Share members like it a lot. Their satisfaction rate is 98%. Imagine that. And Medi-Share is a proven thing, too, for over 30 years. It's a Christian community of hundreds of thousands of people now. And here's the thing. If you join before November 30th and you mention the promo code SHARE, they'll waive your application fee. So you save even more right off the bat. I'll give you the number here in a second, but just call and you'll get a price within 2 minutes. And again, the deadline is November 30th. So call now and you'll save even more. Here's the number. 877-26-BIBLE. That's 877-26-BIBLE. 877-26-BIBLE.
Sometimes strange things can...
0.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, audio and video streaming at wgnsradio.com. This is the Roundtable. A look at the news, views, politics, and people that are shaping Rutherford County.
Welcome in, everybody, to another Wednesday morning on the Roundtable here on WGNS. And glad to have you with us. Chip Walters from Exit Realty, Bob Lamb and Associates, and the Blue Radio Network. And as you all who have been listening to this show over the last couple of years, you know that I'm not afraid to dive into my contacts on my cell phone and call my friends and say, hey, love for you to do a show and let people learn more about you. And that is exactly the case this week. Guy that I've known for 25 or more years, I'm guessing. We'll find out exactly in a minute. But he's officially known as the Associate Director of Bands at MTSU and also the Director of the Band of Blue. I have an affectionate name I love to call him, and that is the head band coach, Craig Cornish, who has led the Band of Blue through a great period of time. And Craig, thank you so much for taking time today.
Thanks for having me, Chip. Good to be here.
Good deal. You always laugh when I call you the head band coach. And I guess it comes from my background on the athletic side. And when you first got here, I was working full-time in athletics. Now I'm a contractor, so I was kind of the every week liaison with you and Jennifer Stembridge and all of that. And we had some good times getting things rolling back then.
Yeah, those were great days, those early years there. And of course, Chip, you may not remember this, but you were one of the first people I met on campus here. You were part of the search committee, and I remember I had an interview with you, like within a few hours of arriving on campus the very first time. So you were the first people I ever met here in Tennessee.
Oh, wow. I do remember that. I remember us having that conversation, and I guess it made sense that since you were the band obviously has such a big role in athletic events, but obviously my input was wonderful, and we got the right guy in here.
That's right. It was all you, Chip.
Well, I'm curious. Did I ask you good questions back then?
Yes, you did. You'd asked really good questions. You were picking my brain a lot because you knew at Nebraska I came from that like 500 team marketing department, you know, and I think you had a marketing department of one or two.
Exactly. And that was right because it had not been very long before it had not been very long before you got here that middle when Coach Donnelly was here had actually played football out in Nebraska when Coach Osborne was still the coach there, and so I had seen that Nebraska band in person and how that long consecutive streak of sellouts at Memorial Stadium and how the crowd reacted, and I think I said, well, if that's the case, then things are going to be good right here. But do you remember who else did you? Obviously, folks in the music department. And who else did you talk to when you came in?
Well, of course, the director of the School of Music, and then several faculty members around here. And then, of course, you always meet with like the dean and the provost and people like that when you're interviewing.
Yeah. And obviously, there's a big part of the backstory of why was Middle Tennessee on your radar as a guy who was at Nebraska, but it was not your first rodeo of being on the MTSU campus by any stretch, was it?
No, sir. Basically, my first time on the MTSU campus was in the fall of 1975. I was a senior in high school in the Lafayette High School band, and we came to the Contest of Champions. And we were lucky enough and fortunate enough we won the contest that day. And that night, when they were running around and they put little patches at our feet for the championship band and all that you put on your leather jacket and all that. And I'm sitting there crying my eyes out, and that's when I decided I was going to become a band director.
So that came over you while you were standing on Jones Field at Floyd Stadium.
Yes, sir. I was out there on that old AstroTurf and bawling my eyes out and said, I'm going to become a band director.
Well, let's back it up even farther. When did you know as a kid that you had a proclivity toward music, and what was the first instrument or two that you were able to pick up and do something with, besides the flutophone that we all had like in third grade?
Yeah, well, the big thing was my dad was a sax player.
Okay.
And he was in big bands, he was from that era, and he loved to play saxophone. And he was going to be a music major in college, but then the draft got a hold of him, and he went to Korea instead. And never did really get back to college or anything like that. And so that's one of the things that kind of stuck with me there, that I said to myself, maybe I'll look into being a music major, since he didn't get a chance to do that. But I learned the clarinet, started clarinet back in the fourth grade, and had great teachers all my life. And I think I must have had some talent. I remember back in the elementary school, I kept winning music awards for choir, and I had no idea why. I would get outstanding music award in choir class, and I was like looking around. What did I do? But so I guess there was a little bit of talent there, and so on. But more than anything, I had a high school band director that just he was a great leader and a great teacher and such a great role model, and I saw what he could do for his students and the kind of changes he made in their lives, and I decided I wanted to try to be that guy too.
Yeah. So while the decision may have been made at the end of the Contest of Champions on Jones Field, that seed had already been planted by your high school band director.
Oh yeah, and by my dad as well.
Yeah. Now, I'm interested because my dad was in Korea as well. What branch was your dad in, and what was? Do you know what his job was?
He was in the Army.
Okay.
Then he was in the what they call the Signal Corps at the time. And then he became an expert in chemical warfare. They sent him to school for all that, and he became an expert in that kind of thing. But and I'm not sure. I know he was a captain and a major and a lieutenant. I don't know which one's the highest, but he was all three of those at some point in there. So they sent him off to that Fort Monmouth officer candidate school, early and all that kind of thing. And but he would never talk about his time in Korea with me. He wouldn't talk about it. He apparently had some harrowing moments there, and he didn't like bringing up the memories and that kind of thing. And so I honored that with him. But he was a heck of a guy.
Yeah. That's. I mean, I'm glad that he was. You had a great relationship. As I was fortunate to have a great relationship with my dad, and my dad was in the Navy and was in the Beachmasters Unit 1, which they typically were fortunate. They typically were not in the fire, but they would go prepare. They would build roads and prepare areas where they were going to, like for instance, they were in an area called Yokosuka, and then over in Japan, and then over in Korea. But when they got to Korea, I think they did a lot of work on they used a lot of heavy equipment, bulldozers, road graders, and things like that to kind of probably get areas ready for encampments when soldiers would move in. And my dad drove a duck, one of the amphibious vehicles, and he always said he had it pretty good because he didn't have to sleep in a tent. That he basically had his own little private residence on his duck, and said that the closest that he ever got into trouble was he and some buddies one night drove his duck up to watch some boxing matches one night, and an MP stopped them and said, "Where in the heck are you guys going?" And they said, "Well, we were told to go up this road right here, and we could go find these boxing matches." He said, "Do you know where you are?" And he said, well, not really, because you're about 500 feet over the 38 parallel. Turn your butts around and go back the other way. But that's, to have our dads both over there, something that's in common. And I'm going to guess that in the 70s and 80s, that one of the most popular TV shows in your house because of that was probably MASH, because it certainly was in my house.
Oh yeah. What a great show it was.
Yeah. Now it's interesting. I mean, because your dad didn't say a lot about it. There's a place, and I can, if you ever want to find out about it, where you can write off to them and get all of your relatives' service records. So and it's kind of interesting now. I've got my dad's, and I've got every time that he went on leave, every time he went and got a class or a promotion or anything like that. It's kind of cool. And at the end of his after 4 years when he got out, they gave him $300 to get home on, and an honorable discharge. So, but it's and because we just passed Veterans Day, I think all of us who had dads or moms or uncles or granddads, whatever, it still warms my heart. And we'll talk about MTSU's veteran salute, but it warms my heart that still across this country, people still pay homage to those who did so much.
Yeah. It's very appropriate. I think it's important that we recognize the people that have sacrificed, some of them the ultimate sacrifice. And so that we can do what we do and be free and enjoy our lives and enjoy the pursuit of happiness and all this kind of thing. Without those veterans, none of that's possible.
Yep. So we got about 3 minutes left here in our first segment, but talking about your growing up life, did you grow up in Lexington or close by?
Yes, sir. I'm a native of Lexington, Kentucky.
Okay. I knew you were close, and you worked in high schools and all of that. So what about the rest of your family? We know your dad was wanted to be a big band saxophone player and ended up in the Army. What about the rest of your family? Was there musical talent around there as well?
Yes, sir, there was. I'm the only one that ended up going to college to get a degree. But my oldest sister, she retired from. She was basically on the what they used to call the Holiday Inn circuit. She was a show singer, and travel and basically do a week here and a week there. And her husband was kind of the leader of the band and that kind of thing. So that was her life as a singer. My oldest brother is a banjo picker, and he plays in a group up in Kentucky, a bluegrass group called Stony Creek. And they're quite popular in the area up there, and get a lot of gigs and that kind of thing. And then my younger brother, he's older than me, but he's the kind of in the middle. He's down in Tampa, Florida, and he's a rock and roller. He's the guitarist, bass guitarist, and he's pretty much worked his whole life playing guitar. So it's funny, all the kids have been in music pretty much, and neither one of the parents were, except for Dad was a sax player, but so it's kind of neat.
Yeah, he had obviously he had the talent. And was your mom musical at all?
I'm not real sure. I think she had to have been for the way those guys, all of them. I mean, so much talent, just absolutely amazing. So I'm sure she did.
But do you believe that there are, or maybe you've seen studies or whatever, is there a musical gene that gets passed down in families, or do you think it's more that maybe you and your siblings grew up in a musical household, and that's how it all got picked up? I don't know if it's actual science or if it's environmental.
Nobody really knows all the way yet, Chip, but I have a feeling it's a little of both. I have a feeling that you're nurtured and the way you're brought up. I mean, there's the studies of those kids that are playing Mozart for them while they're in the womb. And then all of a sudden, they're the geniuses 10 years later. You know what I'm saying? I mean, there are things like that go on. But then also being a teacher in music, you also realize there are certain people out there, they can't hear things like others can. They don't hear difference between certain notes. Or they don't hear rhythms the way we do, and the way a lot of people do, and so on. So I think there's also I don't know if it's genetic or just a talent thing or what, but I think it's a little of both. I think there is a little bit of what your background is, and there's a little bit of did you get anything innately as well?
Yeah, exactly. Well, obviously you did, and it has been a wonderful career. This is the final semester at MTSU for Craig Cornish. He is our guest today. One more roundtable?
One more. I'm going to be
the spring. Oh, you are? Okay. One more semester, but this is obviously the final marching season for you. And coming up this weekend with the Mexico State football game, it'll be the final home game for Craig Cornish. So make sure it's senior day for the band members, for the football team, for the spirit squads, and also a big salute to the guy who has been part of the soundtrack of our Blue Raider fandom over the last 25 or so years. We're going to take a break here on the Roundtable, have more with Craig Cornish as you listen right here on the Big G, WGNS.
Does your home need freshening up? Let our family at Farrah Construction help you. We do painting, new flooring, anything that you need. If you can dream it, Farrah Construction can turn it into reality. Farrah Construction offers high-quality craftsmanship, quick response, and attention to detail. For home restoration at a price you can afford, Farrah Construction can get the job done no matter how big or small it is. I'm Ron Hall. Shop local. Let our family business help you. Farrah Construction Company.
This holiday season, let's make it magical with First Shot Foundation's Christmas for the Kids. Help bring Christmas joy to Rutherford County kids who need it most. Your support helps provide toys, warm clothing, and a reason to smile. Several local leaders have offered to match funds for the first $10,000 raised, so every dollar you give means $2 for local kids. You can be the reason a child's eyes light up with excitement this Christmas. Go to First Shot Foundation on Facebook to find out how to give. That's First Shot Foundation on Facebook.
Fellas, if you've noticed a lack of energy, motivation, and drive, it could be low testosterone. Don't wait. Get checked by the experts at Low T Center. They have over a decade of experience helping patients achieve life-changing results with testosterone therapy, or TRT. And for established patients, they offer the convenience of physician-monitored at-home TRT with advanced personalized plans that include both lab testing and self-inject medication. Low T Center makes it easy, shipping directly to your door. Go to lowtcenter.com now to book your appointment online. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
Hey, we get it. Life's busy, and the last thing you need to worry about is where your trash goes and how much it's going to cost you. With Middle Point Landfill, Rutherford County residents receive free disposal.
Mike Klassen with Middle Point Landfill.
We pride ourselves in making your waste one less worry. Take it to the curb, and we'll take it from there.
Middle Point Landfill is an environmentally safe, economical, and reliable solution for solid waste for Rutherford County.
Learn more about us at middlepointlandfill.com.
What I like to think about Adams Place is it's sort of a pipeline.
Alan Butcher.
You enter in at the independent living end of it, and you go as far as you can. It just happens that my wife is in the memory unit, so I'm able to go over and see her each day, and that works out real well.
Hi, this is Terry Deal at Adams Place. Call me for more information about Adams Place. Phone 615-904-9111.
Adams Place on Memorial across from Walmart.
This is Good Neighbor Events with Bart Walker. Brought to you by the law offices of John Day and AmeriCare Pest Control.
I've got pests, bees, buzzing, rodents running all through my house. Ants chewing wood, and look, there's a mouse. I'm overrun with pests, but you're gonna be sure, safe and secure. It's the last rites for those pests. Call the best of the best to get rid of your pests.
893-7111. AmeriCare Services Incorporated. Call us today. 893-7111.
Thanksgiving is not this Thursday, but the following one, so it's getting close. We have so much to be thankful for, and WGNS encourages you to slow down and count your many blessings. MTSU is offering a free 4-week self-defense class for women ages 13 and older. It is free and begins on Monday, the 25th. That's next week, 5:30 until 7:30 in the evening. For information about the 4-week RAD class, that's Rape Aggression Defense, get in touch with the MTSU Police Department. This is the final weekend for some great shows at our local theaters. Beautiful, the Carole King musical, wraps up this weekend at the Center for the Arts in Uptown Murfreesboro. It's also the final weekend for Guys and Dolls at the Arts Center of Cannon County in neighboring Woodbury. Are you getting caught up in the Christmas spirit? Boy Scout Troop 197 begins selling its Christmas trees this Sunday. That's right, this Sunday. That's over at Fellowship United Methodist Church on the New Salem Highway. Those are WGNS Good Neighbor events.
Rutherford weather.
Skies become mostly sunny this afternoon with temperatures holding steady. Tonight mostly clear and a low near 36. Thursday sunshine, a high around 50 degrees. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki on News Radio WGNS.
Currently, it's 57.
We're powered by Middle Tennessee Electric. As we gather around the table this Thanksgiving, MTE wants to thank you, its members, for being the heart of our community. From MTE's family to yours, here's wishing you a wonderful and happy Thanksgiving.
This is the Roundtable from News Radio WGNS on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna. Listen and watch at wgnsradio.com.
And welcome back into the Wednesday Roundtable. Chip Walters here with Craig Cornish, the Associate Director of Bands at MTSU and the Director of the Band of Blue. And we kind of, at the end of that last segment, left off about that this is the final performance on the field, I guess, for the Band of Blue under your direction. What do you think Saturday is going to be like for you? On an emotional status.
Oh gosh, I'm sure it's going to be overwhelming. You know, it's a lot of things are just coming full circle for me at this point, and I you know, I'm already very emotional about it all, and so I have a feeling that Saturdays will be very overwhelming for me.
Yeah, and what year was it you came here?
Fall of 2002.
Wow. So it's been 22 years.
Yeah, I talked interviewed with you 24 years ago.
Wow. And I still look so youthful and young, and back when I didn't have any gray hair, and you didn't have a gray mustache then, and we were both young men at the time. Let's want to talk a little bit about what you were in high school and you got that. There you were on the field at MTSU at the end of the Contest of Champions, and you said that came over you in an emotional moment that, this is what I want to do. I want to be a band director. And talk about your course of study to go to college, and how did you dive into that?
Okay. Well, basically, I was lucky. I right there in town, I got a scholarship to go to UK, and they pretty much paid all my tuition if I played clarinet for them. So I was in the Wildcat marching band, of course, and in the concert bands, and of course I took all the music education courses. Basically, you have to major in music education if you want to become a public school teacher.
Right.
And they teach you things. I had to learn a little bit about all the instruments. I had to learn how to music theory, music history, and of course you really want to study really heavily onto a one instrument or two, so you become a really deep musician, so to speak. And then just a lot of coursework that leads toward all that kind of thing. And then meanwhile, I'm out trying to help high school marching bands on the side, that kind of thing, learning what I can about that, all that kind of stuff. And then I also in college started writing shows for people, and that became something I was kind of an expert at for many years. And I was still doing that when I came to MTSU back in the day. I was basically, when you see all the marching around out on the field, the stuff we call drill, that was one of the things I became an expert at. And so I learned a lot about that, and then continued learning about that as I graduated and started working, and I started seeking out some of the best professionals in the country and taking private lessons. And I was basically not working on my musician skills. I was working on my director skills, if you see what I'm saying.
Right.
And so in many respects, I don't have a doctorate, but then in a way I'd have a doctorate in marching band because of all the extra work I put into learning about the highest levels of marching band. You can't get a doctorate in marching band, but if there was one, I would probably have it.
Yeah, exactly. And, in marching bands across the country, there are different styles. There's the highly militaristic style, and I'm probably going to get some of the descriptions wrong, but you'll get it. You'll understand. I think about the Texas A&M band, which is if you've never seen them in person, they almost defy physics sometimes with some of their marching skills. You have the HBCU bands have their own personalities whatsoever. I think that that here at MTSU, this band has evolved probably back in the Joe Smith era. He was the band director when I was in college. That it was probably very, very regimented. And then throughout some time there, you had Terry Jolly and Rick Murphy came in, and we had the big, loud, and funky era of the Band of Blue. And then your era came through, and it also has its own personality and style about it. And the music that you guys choose, it's always worked out to be a fan favorite. And I'm sure, the band, no matter who the director is, most of the time, just like an athletic team, its style of play, and in the band's case, your style of shows and how you all play and march kind of mimics the personality of the director. Is that fair?
Oh yeah, it's very fair. The other thing too, we intentionally tried to do kind of include a lot of different styles in what we do. For example, we have some old school style in our pregame. We're kind of showing off our ability to do traditional type work, and then we get into our halftime shows, and you're going to see elements of HBCU, You're going to see elements of drum corps international. You're going to see some elements of traditional, and more than anything else, we hope that you see a lot of entertainment out of it.
Yeah, and
the bands, we're definitely a hybrid type group here. We try to cover a lot of bases.
Well, and I think part of it is, what the band does, and especially with the relationship it has with the dance team and how the synergy that works together. I mean, you all outside of the video board are probably the other biggest piece of the entire entertainment package that goes along with a football Saturday, and even bigger because you all are all over campus. You're at Raider Walk, and you kind of set the tone, set the atmosphere, and that's something, responsibility that you guys have handled for many years and taken on that responsibility.
Well, thank you. We take that seriously. The band realizes their responsibility that way, and we directors do too. And it's something we really emphasize with them, that, we want to make sure we are the musical face of this university. We're also a very positive face of this university, and a face that the university is proud to have out there. And that's always very important for us.
Yeah. And we'll kind of dive into some of that a little bit more a little bit later. And one thing leads us down the path we were, I guess we kind of got into about the style of that, dealing with the style of your education and where you picked up things at UK and all of that, and became an expert in drill. Did you learn to write? Who were your influences and who were your mentors as far as writing shows, not only from the drill part, but also the musical part, and a lot of the transitions and all of that? A lot of bands, you can kind of tell who they are by their transitions and how they end shows and things like that. I've seen enough of them over time that I can listen and say, oh, that sounds like Western's band, or that sounds like the Band of Blue, or whoever it might be.
Yeah. Go back to the beginning of the question.
Yeah, about your mentors, as far as who were the show writers that you looked up to and wanted to learn from?
Okay. Yeah. Well, the first one, like I said earlier, was my high school band director. He was a very, very successful marching band director, and I think his high school bands won the contest here 5 or 6 times. And then his son was a big influence on me. He's one of my best friends on this planet, and he won the contest here several times as a high school band director. My college director, Gordon Henderson, who ended up retiring from UCLA, was a phenomenal genius in the area of marching band, and he had a huge influence on me. And then there are a lot of the DCI folks out there that have been such huge influences on me as well. We have a great relationship with a lot of those guys, not just because of the contest here, but because of our activity in that marching band field and so on in the past. And so it's really neat that we got some of those experts that like to weigh in. For example, this year we had one of the leading arrangers in the world. He arranged our show for us this fall. And, the guy who's arranged the award-winning shows for the Blue Devils for the past 30 years. And he's in the Hall of Fame and all this kind of stuff. And then, gosh, we have him writing our music for us this year. Well, that's pretty sweet. That's a pretty neat thing. And so trying to build up those networking relationships too, Chip, it just makes a big difference in this business.
But you guys play a in your halftime shows. We talked about the traditional pregame show, but the halftime show you play, it's a ton of popular music, and how difficult or how easy, I don't even know, because I'm lucky enough to be able to play the radio, and that's about it. But to adapt Michael Jackson songs or whatever it may be, Beatles tunes, Elton John, whatever, to adapt that to a 300 or 400 or 500 member marching band. How difficult is that to arrange, and how time consuming is it to put an 8 to 10 minute show together?
Well, it's pretty time consuming. They'll start on a new show for next year, pretty much not long after we finish this season.
Mm-hmm.
And, last year we started in on this show. It was in December. In January, February, March, April, May, all through there, we're meeting regularly all through all those months, putting little parts together, figuring out what music we're going to do here, what music there, how do we bridge this piece together, or maybe that piece doesn't work out good enough. We're making decisions like this all the way up through August 1, basically. We had enough going that we gave it to our guy out there in California in June, and he was really quick at how he did things, and so we got stuff back in a quick, and then we were able to doctor it up a little bit, send it back to him, and there's a little bit of back and forth there, and boy, we've just ended up with a great product that way. When you work with good people and you work hard, man, it's fun what can come out of it.
What comes first? Is it the idea of, okay, this year we're going to do, I don't know, Boz Scaggs songs, just whatever. How do you all work through that process of what the theme is going to be of the show?
Basically, that's usually one of the first decisions is what is the theme.
Mm-hmm.
Not this season, but the last season we had a theme of strong women. So we're doing some, Barbara, we do some Pink, we do some J-Lo, you know what I'm saying? We do all the strong women out there. This year, the show is called Boys to Men. And we start out with young Jackson 5, young Justin Bieber. And then in the middle of the show, we kind of get into more of the 20s, 20-somethings, and so on and so forth. The Boys to Men group is one of them, that kind of thing. And then we end the show with the men. We've got a section of Bruce Springsteen, and then we end with the man. You got to have Frank Sinatra if you're going to have a man. So we got Boys to Men, and that was the theme of the show. And is it an entertaining show?
Yep. And when you look back on it in the past 23 years, do you have a favorite? I guess it's like, trying to choose your favorite child, but because you've nurtured every one of them and given birth to all of them through each year.
Well, you're right. They all have merit, but there's some are more favorites than others. I've always been an Earth, Wind, and Fire freak, so anytime Earth, Wind, and Fire, it's going to be fun. You know what I'm saying? We did a Stevie Wonder show that will always be a high water mark for me. We did a Casey and the Sunshine Band show that we took down to New Orleans that first time, the New Orleans Bowl and all that, and boy, we blew away that Southern Miss band with that show that day, and it was a great show. So there's several of them that are like that. We did one that was Elton John and Paul McCartney. We called it The Sirs with Love, and that was a great show. So there's been many of them, Chip. There's not one I could pick out of the blue. I love the show we have this year. Man, it's a gas to do, and it's been a gas to teach, and we have a really great bunch of kids this year. We're really excited about the band we have because the kids are so great and they're so talented. And man, we have one of the best. Man for man, we have one of the best college bands in the country right now.
Yeah, I would vote yay on that as well. Interesting. You mentioned the trip to New Orleans, and we'll talk in the next segment. We're going to talk a little bit about some of the destinations and travel and stuff like that you've got to do. But there's a video, if you can find it on YouTube. It was somebody in the band that night in New Orleans, in the Superdome, at the end of the game. It is a video from inside the band while you're playing the Tennessee Waltz at the end of the game, and whoever is shooting this video when the song, it was such a magical night on the field and everything was just perfect. Middle winds going away, and the young lady who is taking the video, when the song ends, you can hear her say, "This is the greatest night of my life," and she was just having a great time. But if you find that, if you search, Band of Blue in New Orleans or whatever, you can find it. And whoever that was, I kind of, every time I need a little inspiration, I go back and find that one. So
I got to find that one. That sounds like a great one there.
Absolutely. Craig Cornish is our guest today, and the hour is going quickly. We're going to take a timeout and be back with our final segment with the director of the Band of Blue. His final on-field performance with the Band of Blue will be coming up this Saturday when the Blue Raiders host New Mexico State. Back after this here on WGNS.
With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Peter Stahl, board-certified urologist and senior vice president of men's sexual health at HIMSS. I've helped many guys with ED in my 12 years of practice. But now you can get world-class care for ED 100% online by going to HIMSS.com. So what are you waiting for?
To start your free online visit and find ED treatment at up to 95% off brand name prices, go to HIMSS.com/joy.
Efficient 3-bedroom, 3-bath home located in the highly sought-after Black Fox Crossing neighborhood. Enjoy the convenience of 2 primary suites and a 2-car garage. Recent updates include new flooring in the living areas and bedrooms, as well as fresh paint throughout. This home comes fully equipped with appliances, including a washer-dryer and an extra fridge in the garage. For more information, call Chip Walters at Exit Realty Bob Lamb & Associates, 615-542-1915.
This is Kim Dunaway from Sunshine Nutrition Center. You hear me on Monday mornings at 7:20 talking about how to lead a healthier lifestyle. We carry supplements, personal care, and grocery items at both our Murfreesboro and Smyrna locations, family owned and operated since 1989.
At Bud's Tire Pros, we sell all major brands of tires, and we invite you to stop by today for that next set of tires. Or maybe you need us to check out your vehicle before you head out of town. We offer everything from brakes to batteries, alignments, and more. No appointments necessary, just stop on by.
I'm Allison Mitchell with Bud's Tire Pros. We're located on East Main Street, exactly 3 miles from the town square, 1 mile past Rutherford Boulevard. Visit us online at budstirepros.tn.com.
At Bell Jewelers, we'll have some exciting Black Friday week events going on. Not only will our jewelry be at the lowest price for the year, if you spend $299 or more, in the past we've given away televisions, iPads, earbuds. So be making your Christmas wish list, and that's all Thanksgiving week. It would be a great opportunity that Black Friday week. The more you spend, the more you save. At Bell Jewelers.
Premier 6 Theater on Broad in Jackson Heights.
Let's all go to the movies.
Check out what's showing at murfreesboromovies.com. Popcorn popped fresh daily.
Movies like a good old
Premier 6 on Broad in Jackson Heights.
This is the Roundtable from News Radio WGNS on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna. Listen and watch at wgnsradio.com.
Welcome back into the Roundtable on this Wednesday, and Craig Cornish, the Associate Director of Bands at MTSU and the Director of the outstanding MTSU Band of Blue. joins us, and we finished the last segment talking about the bowl trip to New Orleans. We've been fortunate to go there a couple of times, and other trips. Kind of give folks an idea what it's like to get a 300, however many it happens to be on a yearly basis, to get all of that put together to go on a road trip, and what all is involved, especially if it's a trip where you've got an overnight stay somewhere.
Well, we usually do at least one or two overnight trips a season. And usually those decisions are made pretty soon after we get our football schedule. We'll start talking with with Mr. Massaro and then some of the vice presidents and so on about where they like to see us go. We also have to kind of balance it against our School of Music schedule because of certain concerts and so on. If the band's not here, then it's pretty hard for the School of Music to function all of a sudden because, a lot of the other kids in the School of Music are in the marching band. And so we have to work with all that kind of thing. But basically, it's back in anymore now, especially since COVID, we have to get buses at least 6 months in advance or you're not going to get buses.
Mm-hmm.
And then hotel rooms have gotten to be the same way. Now, the good news is for bowl-type trips, it's not so bad because the bowl usually has stuff already reserved and they'll already have that kind of in their back pocket when when you're asked to be or given the invitation and so on, then they start telling them, well, we've got this and this and this and this and this. But when we travel somewhere like this year, we traveled down to Ole Miss. Well, we have to take care of all of that stuff for ourselves, the buses, the hotel, tickets for the game, food, all that kind of thing. And fortunately, I've got one of the best helpers in the business, Jennifer Stembridge. You've already brought her up earlier. And she does a lot of that work for me. Holy cow, I can't imagine doing this without her as my backup. She takes care of all that so that all I've got to worry about is the music and the teaching, and she takes care of all that coordination stuff and all the logistics. And boy, it's so nice to have somebody like that working with you.
Yeah, and it is no inexpensive proposition to take this band on the road. People, there was some news, there was a news story here a couple of weeks ago. People were just aghast that TSU was going to miss a couple of road games with their band because of funding issues. And I don't think people understand just how expensive it is to take a group on the road like that. You're talking what? That's probably several $100,000 just for any one trip.
Well, I would say minimum for a trip, a one-night trip would be around the $80,000 range.
Okay.
Yeah, it's very expensive, especially if you have to get tickets. Like, for instance, when we play Alabama and we'll send the pep band down there or a band down there, we got to buy those tickets.
That's right.
That's a toughie. Now, of course, in our conference, we get in for free, but the best bang for our buck as far as recruiting for the university and for the band and all that is when we can do some of those SEC games and so on. But boy, just the ticket alone can be just crazy, $60 ticket.
Oh yeah. Let's say you take a pep band, that's 100 people.
Yeah. Well, we usually take about 150 when we do a pep.
Okay.
150 times 60. There you go. And then you got food, and then you got hotel, and then you got buses. So it is not cheap. And honestly, I don't see how groups like TSU and so on can afford to do all the games they do. They're spending a lot of money on that.
Yeah, and they have they've got a reputation of their own in their style as well. What's been your favorite trip what's been your favorite football trip with the Band of Blue?
Favorite football trip is New Orleans.
Yeah, first time around.
Yeah,
it was just it was just perfect. It was magical.
Yeah, especially that first one was. Yeah, and winning it and all that. The second one was still fun, but it wasn't as fun as that first one.
Yeah, exactly. And it was really good. And we have rivalries in particular in our conference. between our athletic teams. Obviously, Western Kentucky's a big rival for every sport. Are there rivalries in band, and who are our biggest rivals in band? Because I could probably make an educated guess. There's a couple of bands out there who kind of march around with their nose in the air a little bit, but who are the big rivals of the Band of Blue?
Well, back in the Sun Belt days, our big rival was Troy.
Yes.
Troy has a great band down there, and they had a good football team, and there was always, every year, it kind of boiled down between us and them and maybe Western at that point, and so Troy was always the big rival back in the day. Once we moved to Conference USA, it's a little bit different. It was kind of weird there for a while. There wasn't really a rival for a while.
Yeah.
And then Western came in, and Western they've definitely gotten better. Their band's gotten bigger. They've gotten better. And so they're probably the new rival now, just because of their improvements, and they've gotten bigger and that kind of thing. And they've kind of owned us a little bit on the field recently. And that's another aspect to the rivalry there as well.
Well, and another, I think, as far as a new member of the league in a band that has gone back and been a long rival, would be Jacksonville State. They've always, they've got a great tradition with their band, the Marching Southerners, and they just have a huge group of people. I don't know how they get them. That's just a gigantic band.
Well, the funny thing is, Chip, 12 years ago, we were that big.
Yeah.
COVID, actually in 2019, we were 340,
Wow.
You're almost that big then, but COVID has just knocked us backwards that we haven't been able to recover yet.
Yeah.
Because it's a good band.
Yeah, they are. They do a good job, and and every band has their signature songs. That you talk about Jacksonville State, they play Stars Fell on Alabama. That's their big post game song, and you guys even I guess when who did it, maybe Terry or Rick or yourself instituted playing the Tennessee Waltz after the game. That has become traditions are in college, no matter sports or whatever it is. People latch onto that, and they can't wait to hear the Tennessee Waltz at the end of a game, because that's the coda on the end of the performance, of whether it was the game or whatever. When they hear that, okay, I can go home now, and it's the version that you all play is very emotional I know it is to me.
Yeah, it's a great arrangement, and I think us and Tennessee Knoxville both use that arrangement, and I can't imagine not having that at the end of the game. You know what I'm saying? I just can't imagine it. I wouldn't be surprised if that's been in place since before even Rick. I bet Joe Smith used to use that too.
It probably did.
Yeah, because it's a no-brainer. It's perfect. If you're in the state of Tennessee, and that arrangement is so emotional and it's very charged, and I just can't imagine not ending a game that way.
Yeah, and I always love it too, and this year no different than others. And I actually talked to Coach Mason about it before the season started. Is that at the end of every home game, when you all are playing that, and the football team comes over and salutes your kids for their effort at the end of the game, I think that's just a perfect way to end every ball game.
Yeah, Chip, it's tough on the players.
Yeah,
they lose, and they got to come over there, and it's tough, but it's also building character.
Yep.
And building the right kind of men out there. And I got to tell you, I'm proud of Coach Mason and the team for how they've handled the adversity this year, because it's been a hard year.
Yeah.
And they've handled it really well, and the team keeps getting better. And I'm very proud of supporting that team this year.
Well, and they'll be good times together with that song here before very long. No question about that. You mentioned Drum Corps International and how that's been an influence. It's an influence on marching bands across this country because of how popular that summer series is. And they've been here. They have their finals, I guess, in Indianapolis, or have for a long time. Have you ever been a judge in that, or is that in your future?
No, my future will probably have a lot of high school marching judging, that kind of, no, that's not an area that I've got any experience in that way, but I've done a lot of judging for high schools, that kind of thing. As a matter of fact, I judged a big one up in Kentucky just a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
But so hopefully when I retire, I can get a few more Saturdays out there and help the high school band some.
Well, you mentioned Jennifer Stembridge, and I want to go in. We've got a couple of minutes here. I want to get you to talk about her because she is the power behind the throne. There is no question about that. And, and here she is. She's going to have to break in another band director before too long. I'm not sure there's any adjective or group of adjectives that you could come up with that aptly describe how important she is to the operation of the Band of Blue.
Now she knows more about what's going on here than anybody in town. She the other thing about her is her institutional knowledge of if you ask for this or if you need that, or that's kind of works against her. She knows so much, and then they change everything, and then she gets kind of lost in all that because they change it, and then it's like, what? Then they don't ever tell you. But I can't imagine doing all this without her.
No.
She tells me I'm her work husband, so she's my work wife.
There you go. Exactly. I know we live in the moment, and you've got some special moments coming up this weekend. And while we are in the now, how much does it satisfy you when you have kids who come back to a game or come by the band office or whatever that were part of one of your bands 15, 20, 25 years ago and tell you what a mark you made on their life?
Well, that's what teachers live for, Chip. I can't put a price tag on it.
Yeah.
I'm getting a little emotional thinking about it because in reality, that's why you teach, is for the kids. It certainly isn't for the money. It certainly isn't for all the free time you have or anything like that. And you do it for the students. And when the students come back and show you love for it, that's it for me. That's,
yes,
it's a huge thing for me.
Well, there's a lot of them that care an awful lot for sure. And I guess one last thing is you got here and Coach Donnelly was still around as the AD, I guess, at the time. And he all made such an impact on so many of us, whether you played for him or not. And I didn't play for him, but he's certainly a guy who was very important to me. And he always had something that when he passed out his itinerary for a game weekend to his players, at the very bottom, there was a question at the very bottom. And I'm going to ask you this question. The question to his players was, how do you want to be remembered? So how does Craig Cornish want to be remembered at MTSU?
Well, I hope I'm remembered as someone that cared about his students, that gave his all for the students and for the university. And well, that's really about it there. I mean, I loved my students and I loved working here, and I hope that showed through.
Absolutely. It sure did. Craig, thanks so much for taking the time to do this, and I hope you have a wonderful spring semester and then on into retirement, and And let's just wish you that you and the Band of Blue, that the show this Saturday will be the very best that they've ever done, and go out go out on top. Just have a great weekend.
Thanks, Chip. They're going to be great, and thank you for all these years of friendship.
Absolutely. No question about it. Craig Cornish has been our guest today, and just as we do every time the Band of Blue performs at a football game, we will send you home with the Tennessee Waltz performed by the Band of Blue, and remind you that we'll be back here next week with another edition of the Roundtable here on WGNS.
WGNS, Murfreesboro, Smyrna.
Are you tired of feeling like just another number with your insurance provider? At Rayburn Insurance Agency in Smyrna, Agent Rick Hall prides himself on offering personalized service that puts you first. Every client's needs are unique. From personal home and auto coverage to tailored business insurance, Rick Hall's got you covered. Rick Hall at Rayburn Insurance Agency in Smyrna, where you're more than just a policy number. You're a neighbor.
The city of Murfreesboro is growing, and we need your help to prove it. This is Mayor Shane McFarland, and participating in the special census helps ensure we get the funding we deserve for essential services like road paving, sidewalks, and parks. It's easy. Just visit murfreesborocensus.com, fill out the secure form, or complete the special census letter coming to your mailbox. Remember, every person counts.
Count me in.
Okay, count me in.
And count me in too.
Let's make sure Murfreesboro gets its true share. Complete the special census today.
For 75 years, Murfreesboro Medical Clinic has been a cornerstone of health and compassion in our community. From our humble beginnings to the advanced, comprehensive care we offer today, our commitment to you has never wavered. With 8 locations across Murfreesboro and Middle Tennessee, and over 100 physicians, we continue to provide the highest standard of care. Then, now, and always, your health is our mission.
Now an update from the WGNSradio.com News Center.
I'm Brian Barrett. The Murfreesboro Police Department clearing up misinformation surrounding a viral video on Facebook. Laura Mitchell reports.
The video claimed a white van stopped on Bradyville Pike Sunday night was involved in human trafficking. Police say the rumors are completely false. The traffic stop happened after the van's driver failed to stop at a stop sign. 6 adults and 1 infant were inside, not a van full of kids as claimed online. The individuals were briefly detained as part of an unrelated investigation and later cleared of any suspicion. No arrests were made. The department is urging the public to rely on verified facts and avoid spreading misinformation, which can create unnecessary panic. I'm Laura Mitchell, News Radio WGNS.
As Thanksgiving approaches, over 1,300 students in Rutherford County schools may face food insecurity during the 9-day holiday break. The Atlas program, led by liaison Jessica Johnson, provides backpacks filled with microwavable meals and snacks for students who may not have enough to eat at home. Many of these children live in motels, campers without electricity, or with grandparents due to rising rents. Sheriff's School Resource Officer Summer Higgins, who is leading a food drive effort, says the need is heartbreaking. Donations are now being accepted through December 20th at all Rutherford County schools and the Sheriff's Office as well.